let's talk about the progression of pictures, because the reality is you're not going to nail it on your very first try, getting like the perfect picture. It took us time. And a lot of times also you might not know which one of your pictures that you have out of your 1,000 pictures that you took in a day, which ones are good and which ones are bad. And also you might not know how to take your pictures and send them to an editor and be able to actually tell if the editor did a good job. So in this lesson, we're going to go over Ollie pictures. And Ollie is one of the students from Endless Options who I've been working with. And he stumbled upon something pretty fascinating when it came to understanding where someone is at in the progression of pictures from good to bad. And he also figured out this insane hack that even I didn't know about. And his results will speak for themselves. He's going to show you what his results have been after he's implemented this stuff. But it's had a dramatic impact on your entire dating life, just having better pictures. And so what have you found?
I first had this occur to me when I was going through the photo review video. I was looking at like some of these guys' pictures.
Yeah.
That's particularly these ones, where apparently this guy, I don't know if it was this guy, but some of these guys said they were implementing everything and they weren't getting the results.
Yeah.
There was a point at which in my dating career when I would have probably said the same thing if I put photos up like this. But now being at the point where I am, where I really have been through this with Jesse and David, and I've gone through basically 6 years of progression of photos, slowly getting better and better and better. It's very difficult for you to be able to see, just looking at the pictures you have, where you fit in the grand scale of pictures.
People need to know where they're at. So we're going to look at all these progression of pictures from not so good to a little better to then absolutely excellent.
Yeah.
And so you're going to look at this and you're going to be able to tell, hopefully, that where you are on this journey.
Yeah.
And you'll also be able to tell where you need to eventually be. So let's crack into it.
Cool. Yeah. So this is Photo Feeler.
Yeah, so real quick, a quick recap on Photo Feeler. This is one of the most valuable tools that you will use to decide whether or not your pictures are good. Now, Photo Feeler is not the end-all be-all for whether or not you should use a picture, but it's one of the most important data points.
Yeah.
So let's quickly explain what Photo Feeler is. Photo Feeler is a free website, which also has a paid option, but you can get by with the free version, that gets people, specifically women, to look at your pictures and then they vote on your attractiveness, your trustworthiness, and what they perceive as your intelligence based on the picture. They found that these three categories are the most important when women are looking for a potential mate, and so you're rated on these things. Now, one of the biggest barriers people have to using Photo Feeler, and I had this too, was I was afraid of my ego taking a hit. You know, like you don't look at this, like you're being rated a 4.9, right? You know, this hurts a little bit to have random people from the internet vote on your attractiveness and then they put you as a 4.9, right?
Yeah.
But you're going to have to fucking get over that. Like, you're going to have to get over the ego pain that you're going to feel of people telling you you're unattractive, because you're going to see something pretty crazy here. Because as Ollie starts to take better pictures and starts to figure out the things that, you know, you're learning in this course, this number, just remember these numbers right now, okay? The same person, same human being with some photographic optimizations becomes, I don't want to spoil it, but let's
yeah, it just gets ridiculous.
Yeah, okay, so let's go through this. Go ahead.
Okay, so just a little narration of where this is in my life. So these are chronological order. We're at the bottom here. These were the very, very first ones I took. This is about 4 or 5 years ago, before I discovered anything about dating, before I worked for a dating company. This is when I was just a regular dude. Hopefully some of you guys listen to this are. So these are terrible photos, but I had no idea what I was doing, and these are just some photos I thought might be good. And as you can see from Photo Feeler, they are not scoring well at all. They're scoring appallingly. And if some of you guys are using Photo Feeler, you may be tempted to think, oh, Photo Feeler's bullshit. Like, you know, the average scores are just super low. You know, why is it the case? But hopefully what you're going to see through the course of this is that there is a bigger picture, and using Photo Feeler is a great way to see where you slot in that bigger picture. So like Jesse said, it's not great for fine-tuning, but to know where you are with a ballpark sense, it's incredibly accurate. Like the fact that there's basically no anomalies anywhere here. They're all bad. Like there's no one that's just is like accidentally getting 10. There's no anomaly at all. So I think that's a really good thing. So yeah, these are from when I was a chode, basically. and then this is the next stage. So you may notice they're slightly better. So these are just awful, and I would say from the endless options students, a few have been in this.
Yes.
kind of category.
I can. I'm noticing. I'm looking at these pictures, and I'm instantly thinking of students that have submitted their pictures.
Yeah.
That actually, like some of them are even worse than this.
Yeah.
You know? And so just look at this and try to gauge with where you're at here.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'd say look at something like this. Looking at it on the surface, you could say, okay, the eyes. You know, we talked about eyes. We talked about
Sure. Yeah. Exactly.
a lot of fashion. We talked about this sort of thing.
Yeah. Like you're in this picture. You're dressed fairly. I like it.
Smiling.
You're smiling. You're kind of squinching.
Yeah.
But look at this. Like this is not. These are objectively terrible. You can't ignore these numbers here. You know.
I think it becomes obvious why when you put it into the context of all the other ones. So for those of you who are like, "What's wrong with my photos? I can't really understand. Like I think I'm doing everything right." Look at this and see. Try and picture your photos in this stack.
Yep.
Where are your photos fitting in?
Yep.
And obviously, the best option is to get them tested yourself in Photo Feeler, but this is pretty good.
So let's look at these ones here. So these, you can tell the picture quality is better because there's a better camera being used. Like you look at these ones down here, you can barely even see their faces. So just by increasing the quality of the picture, his numbers have gone up in some of these pictures by a good amount. You know, like let's just say like 10% improvement. But still, like these are not great pictures. And Photo Feeler has validated that these are not great pictures.
All right, so I think this is the point where they start getting a bit better. So these are from about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And these were when I was working with RSD. We had professional cameras all the time. We took a lot of photos. They're starting to get a little bit better. I'm sure a lot of you guys in Endless Options, these would be the sort of good photos that you would be sending in, like 7-ish, 7.5.
Yeah.
Like these are like
People would consider these good photos, yeah. And the truth is, they're okay, but again, if they're not better than this, you're going to be missing out on a significant portion of dates.
Yeah, and I mean, this just puts things in so much perspective, because I imagine a lot of you guys watching this will probably look at some of these pictures and think, these are exactly what I would imagine are the best I could do.
Yep.
And hopefully this video is going to show you that there's an entire other level that you guys need to be getting on. And hopefully if you guys are looking at this and seeing yourself in these photos, there's a whole nother level.
There's a whole other level. Like, see, the thing is, like, you're objectively here, you're hot, you look hot, but
Thank you.
But these numbers are not great. You
No,
know?
they're not.
And again, this is what I'm seeing with a lot of pictures that people submit.
So at that point, I wasn't really taking things seriously. I'll try and get to the point where I really started taking things seriously. All right, so these ones. These pictures here, this is like the next level. This is when I started getting, not obsessed, but I started taking things seriously with the pictures. I got a haircut, and the exact same day I got a haircut, I took out this camera by myself, set up a tripod in, I think this is Prague.
It's fucking amazing that you did that. I like that.
And, you know, I was with some friends, and they were, you know, I was working like I am now, like working all the time, and I was super determined to get these pictures because I knew I needed some, and I'd bought into the idea of online dating working.
Yep.
And they didn't want to come, so I just took the fucking thing by myself and set up a tripod.
Awesome.
And these are actually...
That's what I mean, by the way, guys, by obsession. Like, you need to have some sort of obsessive drive inside you for a couple of weeks and just get this sorted.
Yeah. So here we go. This is like the first really good score. I got 9.1. This is excellent photo, and this continues. So this is still in this phase, like not obsessed yet, but taking things seriously. This is a professional photographer taking these, who was a friend of mine, and he did a great job. Some of these are very good, like 9.5, 8.4, super, super, super. And if we are seeing photos coming in like this from you guys, I would say, would you be pretty stoked if you saw this?
I would be so happy. It would make my day. Just this, right? And yeah, most guys are not doing pictures that are this level yet. It's probably because we're pretty early on in the course. They haven't hired a photographer yet to take 1,000 pictures in a day, all the things that we've taught. But once you do, that's how you get pictures that are more in line with this, but there's another level, and we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, so this looks like it might be the pinnacle. They're pretty amazing photos.
Yeah.
But there's another level after this. It gets even better, and it is right at the top. Should we just go straight to the top?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's go to the fucking top. These are photos when you have them edited by an amazing editor. So look at these fucking scores. This is insane. Like,
okay, this is 40 votes, right? This is like significant amount of data.
Yeah.
You're attractiveness is a 10 here. Let's see this picture. Dude, like, that's just like a dude that you want to hang out with. He looks like he's having fun. He's smiling. It's great. Now, what's interesting about this, Ollie? What's interesting about this picture?
Funny thing you should say that, Jesse, because I wasn't smiling that much in the original photo.
No, you were not.
I was not, and my skin was not that good, and the lighting was not that good. And what I did was I found an incredible editor on Fiverr who has... I have no idea how he does it, but he has the ability to Photoshop smiles onto your face that were not there before. So it's an example.
So there's the original picture, okay? And now let's look back at the new one. If a girl goes on a date with you, she's not going to think, this guy catfished me.
Yeah.
Because you look like the same human being. It's just there were tweaks made to the picture that make you seem more happy and charismatic, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what we're doing here. And so you're like making these little tweaks, but you're not misleading people in terms of what you actually look like.
Yeah. And I would say this is these photos here are the obsession point. This is, I would consider the length I went to get these pretty obsessive. So
Yeah.
this is whilst editing endless options content. So I'm working maybe 8 to 10 hours a day, every day, and still I managed to get to the beach with a friend.
So I want to highlight this. Like your job requires you to work 8 to 10 hours a day, and you were still able to put in the work to get pictures that got you results like this. You know, like look at these numbers, guys. Like this is just imagine. Like let's go back to the bottom. Let's compare here, right? Like this is what your standard guy is doing. This is what a lot of the students have submitted in terms of like their current pictures. But the same person, the same human, after getting obsessed for a couple of weeks, was able to have scores like this and pictures like this. The quality of matches and dates you're going to get when you have pictures like this is radically different.
It's already been much, like I can see the difference. I reset my Tinder account yesterday, actually, about 24 hours ago. I think I'm at 100 likes right now.
Yeah.
Our virtual assistant's been swiping, and I would say 5 matches that are insanely hot. Like
in the last level. 24 hours.
Yeah, in the last 24 hours, model quality women. And I don't know if it's going to stay high like that, but compared to what before, these girls, if I went on a date with these girls, would be the hottest girls I ever met.
Yeah.
And it's because of this.
Yeah. And it's just a matter of getting really obsessed with it and doing all the steps basically that we outline in the photos video. Like this is what you did. Because you were editing the course content, and as you were editing it, you were taking action on every single step. And that's what a lot of people are missing here. They're not taking the necessary action steps. I mean, let's look at, I'm going to actually show you guys something that I you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it to make a point here. So now we know what the progression of pictures looks like. We know that this is what you should be aiming for. And we also know that with editing, you can do, by the way, this is an example of the smile, right? So this is the original picture. Great picture, really, really fucking good. I wouldn't even say you need to add a smile to this, but all he did just for fun to see what would happen, right? These are great. This is a great score, but this is what the smile, like this is the exact same picture, and an editor just added a smile to it. And it's, again, same person, no catfishing here. When he shows up on the date, he will look like this, but the editor added a nice smile, and so. Look at this dude, 9.9, top 1%. And I'm gonna show you guys my photo feeler after this too. So what Ollie did here, which is so commendable, is he took action on every single step that we taught, right? Now I want to show you something that I was initially hesitant to show, but I want to do it to make a point. So this guy right here, he emailed in actually and requested a refund. And when people request refunds, I asked them, hey, I happy to process your refund. Here you go. Get your money back. But out of curiosity, please send me your profile and like show me that you've tried everything, right? And so he sent it in, and he said in the email that I implemented all of the steps that I was taught, and it didn't work, right? And so Ollie, you also have implemented. Ollie's shaking his head furiously right now.
Yeah.
So let's compare this. Like, if I think this might have been like a miscommunication thing, because maybe he needed to see this, right?
Yeah.
Like the progression to understand.
So it's hard to see where you fit in when you're only looking at your own pictures. Like, it's hard to see the whole broad picture of...
Yeah. And so, like, look at these pictures. This is a guy, again, in his mind, in his perception, he took the best pictures possible based on what he learned in the video, right? Which obviously he did not. He did not hire a photographer. It looks like he's in a barber shop in all of these pictures. He's not doing the squinch. This picture is like an inch away from his face. It doesn't look like any of these shots are taken candidly, like while he's laughing. These are all things I teach in the photos video. And again, it's just like very low quality selfie style pictures. But and by the way, this guy is a math professor at a prestigious university. Okay, this is someone that understands what it takes for people to learn. He's a teacher, right? And yet this is the effort that he has put in to solving his dating life. And to be honest, like, it's a little irritating when I see this and I'm like, you didn't do the things that we're teaching you. And so we want everyone to succeed in this course, but like, just to be clear, if it's not clear to anyone, this is not implementing what we teach. Rewatch the photos videos and compare that content and what I'm trying to like explain to you and look at these pictures. This is not what we're teaching you to do. But anyway, with that said, I think this video is going to help a lot of people out who need to see what the progression looks like of bad pictures to then getting fucking tens. Like, crazy. So now I'm going to show you my photo feeler, and Ollie is a more attractive guy than me. I think most people would, if they saw us in real life. How tall are you? You're 6'1", 6 foot tall-ish. I'm 5'7". You have a full head of hair. You have a more symmetrical face. Like, you're just a better looking dude. Now I want to show you my profile just to show you like what a good picture can do and what people think of it when it comes to rating.
Oh, hello.
Okay, so let's look at these pictures that I've tested on Photo Feeler. It's so interesting to look at this because this is why I don't use Photo Feeler as the only piece of data. This one has a 5.8 out of 10, right? But the feedback after putting it on my dating profile was that this was one of their favorite pictures. And I noticed that when I used this picture, I would get more matches. But look at this. Look at these scores. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And here's the reason. Here's the reason why people rated it poorly. This was one of the main ones, right? They wanted to see my whole face. But here's what I wonder. I wonder if this picture was next to other pictures where you could see my entire face, what this would be rated in the context of the entire story, right? Let's look at this. So this is by far my best picture. Again, Ollie is a better looking guy than me, yet we both ranked here in the top 1% just because this is a killer picture, right?
Dude, you look fucking great in that.
Yeah. This one too. So for me, 8.9, great, right? Top 20%. Now, the thing is, I don't use this picture in my dating profile, even though it's rated super high. This is why I think you need to take whatever Photo Feeler gives you and not view it as dogma, but you have to view it in the story of your whole profile, right? So the reason I don't put this picture in my dating profile, even though it's rated pretty high, is because I already have a picture of me laughing. I already have one of me making almost this exact same face. I don't need another one. And so the way I think about pictures is I only want 3. And I want it to show a complete story. So this is me laughing. And then the one where I'm like looking more direct to camera is a nice eye contact picture. And then this one is just a picture where I just look good. I just look pretty decent in this picture. And so when you put the 3 together, it creates a much better impression than individually. So one of the main points that I want to distill is this idea of being obsessed. In order to have a funnel for online dating that basically solves your entire dating life, you need to get obsessed. And the time that you need to get obsessed is about 2 weeks. So if you take 2 weeks of your life and dedicate it to just crushing every step of this funnel, you will succeed. And what's so great about this is I'm not telling you to get obsessed forever. I'm not telling you that you need to like do this for the rest of your life. You don't. Just for 2 weeks, really watch the course multiple times, really understand what I'm saying, and execute on all of the steps and spend the same amount of time that you would spend on your full-time job doing this for 2 weeks. So basically, just get shitty sleep, work your ass off for just 2 weeks. It'll be over. You're not going to die if you do this for 2 weeks. get obsessed for 2 weeks, and you're basically going to have your dating life solved for life. But there you have it. There's the progression of pictures that most people will go through. You're going to start off pretty shitty, but you need to be using things like Photo Feeler as like a pretty big data point on your pictures. And put your ego aside and just accept the fact that people are going to rate you poorly, but you have the ability to improve that score. And you need to keep going until you hit a pretty high number. I would say when you're at the top 15 to 10% on Photo Feeler in terms of the numbers, you're doing pretty well. You now have good pictures. Most guys are not there. Use these tools because they're free and they're just so helpful. So you might be thinking, well, Ollie is better looking than me. Well, the thing is, Ollie is better looking than me. He's 6 feet tall. I'm 5'7". He's Caucasian, which Caucasian people do have an advantage statistically. However, look at this. Look at this picture. This is a 9.9 of attractiveness. And even though Ollie is a better looking guy than me, I was able to get ratings like this purely because I went through that same progression of having shitty pictures initially and then working my way up until I got something like this. And you can do the exact same thing, and it doesn't matter what you look like. You can get to these numbers if you do what we say in the photos video. If you actually go out, take 1,000 pictures, pick the best ones, get some of them edited from a cheap editor on places like Fiverr,
Yep.
And your dating life will change.
Yeah, I'd say the Jesse in this picture, it looks super good. And if you know what it looks like in real life, as David likes to say, you'll see that if Jesse can look that hot, then you can too. I'd say I just agree with what Jesse said about taking it like a full-time job for 2 weeks. That was what changed for me. Basically going from where I'm taking pictures I already have that I just took and just throwing them into Photo Feeler, and the difference between that and taking an amazing camera, learning how it works by myself, taking literally 1,000 photos, literally 1,000, and then not only taking it to an editor, testing editors to find one I liked.
Super cheap. Fiverr, by the way, is a site where you pay $5 for a service, right? So you're paying $5 for a picture that could result in you meeting your wife, you know?
I think you might.
It's funny because we were joking about this because you now have pictures that are rated a 10, right? Like a 10. And it's because you sent it to the specific editor that just, did a good job, right? And we were joking that, like, if you end up meeting your wife, you should fly this editor to your wedding. But yeah, it's just, there's so much power in spending time and getting obsessed with this and following all the steps properly. Anyways, that's it for this lesson. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. We read every single one. And we'll see you in the next video.
Bye guys.